Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of MES un podcast. And it's not really been a very good week for Barcelona, guys, has it?
No.
We came off, obviously, after last podcast, the Girona defeat. Then we had Antwerp and Valencia, both away from home. No wins.
I forgot we didn't talk about.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You're right.
Oh no!
I'm not gonna lie. I honestly just completely forgot about Royal Antwerp.
To be fair, it wasn't an important game. To be fair,
I didn't watch the game.
Neither.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch the game.
I did watch it. It wasn't worth watching. But to Pablo's point, it was a throwaway match. Like no matter what happened there, we were first in the table. We're going through.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say about the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a yardstick for us to measure by. It just adds to the narrative of Barcelona struggling right now. So, yeah, let's just skip that. Let's focus on Valencia. How about that? So, initial reactions. Buga, how are you feeling after this 1-1 draw?
I'm actually starstruck right now because a friend just sent me a picture of him being with Claudio Pizarro, and you know who that is?
Claudio
The
Pizarro.
Peruvian
striker.
Yeah, who played for Bayern Munich. I'm like, what is he doing in a family Christmas lunch or whatever they're having? I don't know. I don't care. But I'm just like, tell him, and I'm searching up the most random goal ever just so I look like I know actually what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna say tell Claudio if he remembers that goal he scored with a back heel in Werder Bremen against Dusseldorf in 2002 or some shit like that. Okay, I'll do that afterwards.
Friend of the pod.
Yes, a friend of the pod.
This is what Barca does to people.
I know.
We got Bulgar searching up Claudio Pizarro like backfield goals.
I mean, did you know that Claudio Pizarro played at Chelsea, Pablo?
Did he? Oh, no, he did. Yeah.
Yeah,
course,
on loan or some shit like that.
Yes.
For the listeners out there, this is called deflection and escapism when feelings are just too much to process.
Okay, bringing it back to Barcelona. Let's talk about how crap we are. In all due respect, I think this game was one of the... There was the reaction mentally from Barcelona for this game, but I just feel that the clinical edge or emotionally we cannot sustain this sort of calm, cool-headed that I've always been trying to say these past few pods. It's like I said, Barcelona, I always come down to the conclusion, I think they're way too emotional. And of course, it's not helping with Xavi being already kind of people pushing him out the door. We have already people creating campaigns against Lewandowski, Oriol Romeu. I've even heard stuff against people like Koundé and stuff like that. So it's not really helping. It's not really building towards anything successful. But I do think, and I do like, when I first saw the lineup, Xavi just went back to basics. He was like, let's not screw around doing some crazy thing from Pep Guardiola putting Gundogan as a false nine or I don't know. He just went Balde left back, Cancelo right back, bang the two, our best two center backs, our best midfield, our best attack line. He just did all that. One player though that I think could have started over someone like Rafinha due to those. We now see after this game, the constant posts of Barca social media people and news pages saying oh, Rafinha hasn't scored in 13 games or he hasn't scored since September. And I do think that, but one player that I'm a fan. I'm a pretty big fan. But I think Fon Torres should have started over Rafinha maybe in this one. But that's not really... Apart from that, I don't have any other problem whatsoever. Even though Rafinha is, and I do stick by it, probably the only player in Barcelona right now that has that dynamism of when we're at 2%, he just gives 100% no matter.
Yeah.
And he takes that ball, he progresses, and he at least creates chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to jump on that point around Ferran starting because there's something to Ferran off the bench compared to Ferran in the starting 11. It's not the same shark. It's baby shark versus daddy shark. You know what I mean? And daddy shark comes off the bench. I don't know if it's, being held out of the starting 11 gives him an edge, gives him that certain mentality or something like that, but he doesn't seem to, at least perception-wise, this is where maybe one of our listeners can deep dive into the stats, but perception-wise, he doesn't produce as much in the starting 11 as he does coming off the bench. But I agree, Ferran Torres looked threatening off the bench. He was making some excellent runs, almost stole the win at the end. Almost stole the win, but didn't get there. Put it right at the keeper. So
Yeah.
I don't know, Pablo. What is your take on starting versus off the bench Ferran Torres?
No, I think you're right. I think there probably actually is a stat that would say how effective he's been off the bench compared to how he is in the starting lineup. I think he's actually got our best goals to minute ratio this season out of any of our players, Ferran Torres. But
Yeah.
I still don't think when I watch Ferran that he's performing at like an optimal state. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Like, do you know what I mean? I think if he was, he would be starting because it's not like our starting front three attacker firing on all cylinders. Like, he's still not for me at like a level of like an elite winger, and I'm like, if he plays, we're gonna create loads. He's gonna beat his man and all of that. I'm still not feeling that with Ferran, but I definitely feel he's better off the bench. But with Rafinha, what I would say though is that I've gone to Twitter and he's getting a barrage of abuse here. By the way, Rafinha, like
it's because the miss at the end.
I know.
And
but
that
like
and unfair, I would say, unfair for Rafinha because he really had a great match.
Yeah,
it was one opportunity there, but
yeah, I honestly don't get that, especially now when we're in this. Booga, you are like typing down my.
I was just about to message Booga that you are playing the drums on your keyboard right now, dude.
Okay, I'm finished. I'm finished.
Pounding through.
I'm finished.
My goodness.
I'm just trying to get myself into Claudio Pizarro's mind.
Claudio Pizarro will be there later. Okay.
Yeah, and I was saying I've seen him get so much abuse and like. Yeah, I think he actually gets quite a lot of abuse. And I'm not saying that he's the most like effective winger or the best winger in the world, but like I remember how much we used to praise Dembele for just being at least something and exciting on the right. I think at least Rafinha's giving us that. I think like you said, the ball guy, like you say, John, like he's probably our best attacker today. Well, he was our best attacker today. He's the most involved in the game, and he beats players. He's whipping in good balls. He got the assist for the goal. He's getting in behind the most. He's doing the most in the attack. And I agree, obviously, there's something to be said for players who finish it off and all of that. But in this current state especially, but even in any state, I think if we were like a team that's on good form at the moment, we'd all be saying that, what a performance from Rafinha. But I think it's because he's almost the only one doing anything. If he doesn't get that goal, it all sort of dawns on him. But like, I thought he played really well against.
What about if Ferran doesn't start over Rafinha, but over someone who is like
João Felix?
And I was gonna say like Lewandowski. I know. Last spot I was defending Lewandowski as like so much, but for me the problem is not that I still agree. Lewandowski is not the problem. He's not helping himself not be the problem or to not be so-called the problem. But what I do not like is that Xavi has this stern kind of fixation with always playing him. And I remember when he came in, Xavi was gonna say, "Oh, whoever plays the best is going to start." And that actually is not transpiring after plenty of games, Xavi already been in charge. And I think that, in fact, there is some sort of hierarchy that he is following, like 100%. And I'm not too sure whether that's the most healthy environment for Barcelona at the moment, because it's like we destroyed El Club de Amigos, or Las Vacas Sagradas, the sacred cows. But somehow we still remain with that.
So can I want to jump in with another question here. So we're talking about Rafinha not really being, his best version. Aside from Frankie de Jong and Araujo, is there anyone else? Oh, and Cancelo, those three, right? Is there anyone else on Barcelona who is playing their best football? Because I think maybe that is what's wrong, is that outside of those three, Frankie, Araujo, and Cancelo, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's just a little bit. Even Pedri coming back, he's getting there, but you can see his passing isn't quite there.
There's one, but he's like in the bench, like with a massive like injury in his knee, and he's like 8-month sideline.
I know. It breaks my heart.
You're sorry, you're definitely right, John. Like that's a big issue of this season, is that you can almost go through that entire starting lineup, and I'd say almost all of them aren't playing as well as last season. Rafinha, Lewandowski for sure. Even De Jong potentially was very good tonight for sure.
Some of his passes were, get out of the seat and applaud type passes.
Incredible.
I thought made mistakes. Not a perfect match, But man of the
Yeah,
match
no,
for me,
it's-
Frankie De Jong.
Yeah, very good.
I-
No, De Jong's very good. Araujo very good, but I think even Koundé's dropping off now. Valdez been a massive drop off. Even to Stegen, was he as good as he was last season? Christensen, was he as good? I don't know. You looking around the team here, and I'm seeing that not only have we potentially got weaker with some of the players we've lost, like Busquets and Dembele, then we've lost players like Gavi to injury, then almost the entire team's dropped off. Then as like a system, it seems that we haven't got the right profiles. It all just seems that we're just staggering down a bit from last season. Honestly, it really does. And as we can see now, we're so far off the league, which is killing me. I hate not being in amongst the title race. I feed off of it. And 16th of December, honestly, like if we win the league, it'll be a miracle now. Honestly, guys, I have to say that we literally have to win every single game from here, and it's not going to happen.
That's another debate I wanted to bring to the table. Like when I was gonna say, guys, we should name this pod on YouTube or the thumbnail when I design it. Should we call it like "Is La Liga over?" Because I think I think that's sort of where Barcelona are headed now. I think La Liga is quite miles off. I think it's gonna be very difficult to get to track. I'm not too sure how we're gonna perform in the Champions League either. I'm not confident that we can just go ahead and win it. We don't have that ability like Real Madrid to go and say, let's all dump our eggs in that basket. We cannot do that. So I think this could be a very grim season from here to Barcelona, to the end for Barcelona. But it comes down for me what's most important. I already want to see Xavi doing selections and shifting this team with a clear roadmap for next season. And I know I'm already talking about next season, it's kind of halfway through this season. But I think it's sort of where we have to look at right now. Because Barcelona, I go back to the start of the year when we signed these players that we had, we changed up so many profiles and it was just not consistent enough or sustainable at the end. We have no Busquets replacement. We let go of a midfielder, for instance, like Kessie, that I thought it was very good because he would just come in and give something else. Like Gundogan is more of the same of what we had already. Same with Joao Felix. Same with keeping Ferran Torres, keeping Rafinha, letting go of Ansu Fati. We let go of Dembele. Players who are completely different in terms of creating those chances out of nothing. And right now we're just having a team that is quite, flat.
Yeah. So speaking of flat, one thing I noticed, we are not making quick enough decisions on the ball. When Rafinha gets it, when Joao Felix gets it, it's 2-3 defenders within a moment or two, right?
Sorry.
What? Yeah. What are we got a little feedback.
Sorry, my editing software just. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. Shout out to Pablo's work over on Barca Buzz. You can find him there as well.
Sorry, boys.
What I would say, quicker decisions, right? You have to know if you're Joao Felix, if you're Lewandowski, if you're Rafinha, you're gonna get those other defenders coming to you. You have to get rid of the ball before they're around you. There was countless times tonight against Valencia where you just needed to get rid of it sooner. Somebody's open. Now, is it because the runs aren't there? Is it because the decision's not being made soon enough? You could debate that. For me, it's a decision-making issue.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that was the most frustrating thing about tonight. I looked at, the XG, the expected goals. We had, I think, nearly 3.5 compared to Valencia's half a goal. And we had so many clear-cut opportunities. Sure, we missed chances, one-on-ones. But I think we also did a lot of what you're saying, John. There were so many moments where I thought Valencia were wide open. When you come to MES, it's usually such a tough game. It's a block. It's gritty. It's dirty. They put you under pressure. Didn't think they put us under pressure. No way should we have been conceding this match. But also, I thought they were wide open. I thought, the chances just to play the ball, decision-making was poor, holding on to it for too long. There were so many moments where I was like, he's free, play him, and we're gonna score with it. We're like, the goal's there, and we just couldn't get it through. It was one of those games like you're pulling your hair out because it was like, we're there, but we just can't get over the line in it. And honestly, whether it was a missed chance or a bad decision, such a frustrating night for Barcelona. It wasn't one of those where it was against a block and we just couldn't break through. It was that we had everything in front of us and still couldn't do it.
16 shots, 8 on target for Barcelona. One
ridiculous. Goal. It can't happen. It can't happen. And I think everyone's been saying, you can't put that on Xavi. Unfortunately tonight, it's just we've had all the opportunities. Poor Valencia team for me. I was watching and I thought simple 3 points, simple 3 points, and unfortunately we've said it all season long though with our finishing, it's not been on. It just hasn't been on. We've like our underperformance of our expected goals compared to the other sides around us in La Liga is woeful. It's really, really poor, and we've missed the most big chances in Europe this season. We're also creating the most as well, but it's just not going in.
I'm 100% with you. I don't think you can blame Xavi for this one. I think he got the tactics right. Buga, are Barcelona supporters going to see it that way?
Where do we think Barcelona? Let's hypothetically do that, right? Let's do the exercise of Xavi. He goes, he leaves. Where does Barcelona go from there? Who do they get in? Let's kind of do that exercise right now, because I think to just analyze, to either convince us three, which I think we're all Xavi in, to Xavi out, or convince those people Xavi out to Xavi in. So let's do that little exercise right now. Where do we go from here if we get rid of Xavi? Any managers you're thinking of? Luis Enrique, if he gets sacked by PSG, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, that'll be the only one, but he's not going to be sacked by PSG, I don't think. I mean, it would be someone like a Hansi Flick or like Antonio Conte, you know? It'd be one of those to like come in and make like a bit of like a big name on like to put their authority on the dressing room and get Barcelona like winning again. And I believe there's some people in Laporta's board who think like that. It's not going to work. That isn't going to work. I think Xavi is the architect of everything we're seeing at Barcelona right now. He brought all the players. He made all those phone calls. He's basically built this squad, Xavi, and the way we're playing right now. And everything you see at Barcelona right now is sort of like Xavi. He's at the head of it all. He's at the head of this whole project, in my opinion. Which, to be fair, Victor Font in the election campaign sort of promoted, but that's sort of what's happened with Laporta, in my opinion. Albeit done in a better way, sure. But so I think to remove Xavi now, I think would leave Barcelona in a really weird place, lacking identity.
Yeah. There's I'm scrolling through a list of available managers. There's a few names that I was going to throw out as jokes, and I'll just mention them. Graham Potter's available. Jesse Marsh is available.
My guy,
Sam Allardyce, folks. Big Sam. Big Sam is available. Yeah. So there's some names. Frank Lampard before an MLS team snatches him up. If we wanted to grab him, he's available. I'm with Pablo. I don't think there's a manager available that makes sense, that has the clout, the experience, and the DNA to come in and replace Xavi. You have no choice but to ride this out, and maybe this would be a good transition. We might be finding our way out of bankruptcy with this potential payoff around the Super League. You guys been reading some of these headlines? We're 5 days away from a ruling here.
I honestly
Barcelona a big payout. How much of Barcelona's problems are going to be fixed if we can fix the budget and maybe make some smart signings this summer?
Can you first give me some context, because I've been out of the loop on that one. I read it today, but I didn't know how much was it in development.
So my understanding is that if the ruling goes Barcelona and Real Madrid's way and the Super League's way, part of that ruling could be financial compensation to the terms of like $1 billion, that a big chunk of that goes to Real Madrid and Barcelona because they've been the clubs that have stuck with this and driven it through them.
Yeah.
So
what it would mean that the Super League would happen?
On Twitter. What's that?
It means that the Super League would happen if it goes that way? Or it just means that UEFA pardons?
My understanding, again, the rule, and listeners, comment if we're getting this wrong. The ruling would mean that UEFA does not have the right to have a monopoly over tournament play.
Oh, okay.
Thus paving the way for Super League to go forward. Yeah. But then there is some sort of payout. And I don't think it's UEFA paying the clubs. I think it's the Super League kickstarting things by putting that $1 billion investment into it, and a good chunk of that goes to Barca and Real Madrid, like I said, because they've stuck with it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it would be good. I mean, it would mean Barcelona are benefiting from probably the biggest disgrace in football history. But I'll take it. But I'll take it.
Shots fired. Wow. Here's the thing, though. I saw something interesting today because a lot of folks are saying, Super League, it's just for the elite clubs. It's going to create too much separation, too much divide financially. I saw something that they were talking about trying to revamp a lot of historically notable clubs that have fallen off over the last few decades. Clubs in Portugal, clubs in Russia, clubs in some of these smaller countries, and actually trying to bring them up. If that is the case, does that change things at all, perception-wise, for you guys?
I think it would, yeah, definitely. I think that the whole point of the Super League, they're trying to get all the biggest clubs into one chunk in a way. But what I find funny is that this whole UEFA thing, and I at first hated the idea of the Super League compared to the idea of like the Champions League and stuff and what it meant for everything. But look at the Champions League format next season, yeah. That is literally a Super League. It's literally a league format where we're playing how many games? Is it 8 or something? League games. And
is that what it changes to?
Or is it? Yeah.
No, it's like a league game in the Champions League group. You have it's like a league where you face other teams, but it's weird because you don't face every team in the competition. You just face the first
people in your league.
Yeah, the 6. No. It's like everyone is in a league, but you face randomly six teams there. 3 teams that are on this half, 3 teams that are on that half, and then you play each them, and then you suddenly go up. Right? It could be for instance, Bayern Munich played Lazio, Napoli, and then United and Arsenal, and that's their 4 teams that they play. And whilst Barca could face against City, PSG, Real Madrid, and somebody else. It's weird like that where you don't face every single team.
Does it go into knockout rounds after that, or is it seeding after that? Okay.
No, after that you get the first. You get the 10.
The first. Yeah.
The first 8. The first how many teams we got? 16 round. The first 9 teams or the first 8 teams go They move forward. If you finish first in the league, to the 8th in the league, and then you have the other from 8 to 16. They play the 9th position with the 16th position, the 10th position with the 15th position. They play a playoff or something like that.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. And then with the World Cup, how many teams are they adding in for 2022? Right, we're changing the format for that. Clubs are now playing. Barcelona is playing a friendly match here in the States the day after Christmas or 2 days after Christmas or something when they're supposed to have a break. There's too much football being played, you guys. I understand it's a business, but this is outstretching the players and their ability to keep up with the demand. Between club and country, it's insane right now. It's absolutely insane. And it's not just the world's football. You see it in American football as well. They're now playing games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It used to be just Sunday for American football, and now it's and Monday. Don't forget Monday Night Football. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing that too much business in the sport.
Yeah, it's constant. But with the whole Champions League, Super League thing, all the complaints about don't ruin the Champions League, the Super League will ruin football. The Champions League essentially is the Super League now, is what we've just spoken about with that league. The only difference is that UEFA get the money, the clubs don't get the money. If the Super League happens, Barcelona, Real Madrid obviously fill their pockets, and all the other big clubs in Europe do as well. But the Champions League are doing a similar thing. And also what they're doing in the Champions League is they're starting to dish out points and coefficient points, which means that if you are a team like Chelsea or Manchester United, who historically have done better in Europe, but as my dog starts barking, but are now doing really poorly on coefficient from the past, I think it's if your nation will get an extra Champions League spot. That's very much what the Super League were trying to say, isn't it? They were saying the top 6 of the Premier League, no matter how they perform, will be in the Super League, right? Chelsea could finish 15th, they'd be in the Super League, right? Yeah. That's sort of what UEFA are sort of getting at too with their little Champions League. So I don't actually see too many massive differences. I think actually by 2030, if we did no Super League, the Champions League would be like the Super League anyway, just the clubs wouldn't get the money and we'd still be poor as Barcelona. So I'm actually warmer to it than I was before. I'm quite intrigued because I think the Champions League now, with this, we've essentially got like a Super League in the group stages and then a knockout stage. The players are going to be dead,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Well, it does make sense if you understand that it's being driven by the people at the top just saying, how can we make more money off of this? year over year, right? And part of that is ensuring that it's the most attractive teams that are involved in it. You've seen UEFA and FIFA involved with fixing draws, fixing group setups, right? So it's not a far stretch, to see what's happening now. So it's all about manipulating it to see how much money you can get out of it, folks.
So now that this probably is this gonna be the last spot of the year?
Until Sunday, the 7th of January.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll record,
If
and then
it
it'll be
is.
released on Monday, the 8th.
If it is,
Yeah.
then
I'm gonna miss you guys so much.
I think we should just randomly do our
I was gonna say I feel like we might have a random pot in there. There might be a random.
No. I was gonna say we should right now be random and be like the 3 best moments of the year or the 3 worst moments of Barcelona in 2023.
Sugar pie. Okay. All right.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. 3 best and 3 worst.
My best moment, number 3 for Buga.
Buga's got a list already.
I was gonna say,
No, I haven't got a list. I'm just coming with it as I was talking about.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead, Buga.
think for me was number 3. I'm gonna go random. I just wanna go with Ferran Torres scoring in the preseason. I love Ferran Torres scoring in Arsenal. It just made me feel like, oh my god, he's actually gonna eat and devour every single team in the world. That made me so happy. I was just feeling like we're gonna be on top of the world. Number 2.
You've lost it, man.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with
Lost it.
Kessi's goal against Real Madrid overtime.
Oh, so you're talking calendar year?
Yeah,
'cause
calendar
it's
year, calendar
New
year.
year.
Yeah.
Oh boy, so we gotta go back to last year as well.
Yeah, and probably
Yeah.
number 1 for me is when we signed Joao Cancelo. I think Joao Cancelo.
That is the most bizarre top 3. Go
Why?
on.
Yeah,
Because
so
I think
to recap, Ferran Torres start of the preseason.
yes.
Kessier's match winner against Real Madrid, which makes sense. That one makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what was the loan
Signing a player on
signing
loan.
On loan.
Joao Felix. The
Joao
loan
Cancelo.
signing
Joao Cancelo.
of Joao Cancelo. Excuse me,
Yeah.
of Joao Cancelo.
I mean, La Liga is nice, but Joao Cancelo is nicer.
Joao Cancelo is nice. If we don't purchase Joao Cancelo, I'm going to be upset. He almost actually needs to calm down on his performances as to not increase his value.
Yeah.
I will say, well, I mean, it's not exactly Barcelona related, but of course you have to mention Lionel Messi lifting the World Cup. It's kind of cheating because it's not really Barcelona
Yeah.
related. But
That's why I mean, I would have mentioned that. I think that's the best moment in football
know,
ever.
I know.
Ever. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this year has not had a lot of highs. I did a quick scroll through some of the fixtures. We had a nice little string there. Betis and Antwerp 5-0 victories. Those were fun matches, but yeah, struggling. It's been dark times for Barcelona, to be honest. Just over the last couple of years, the one that stands out. And it's not even when was the Copa del Rey? Was that 21?
mm-hmm.
That's the last memory I have of significant joy.
Oh,
For
when
Barcelona.
we had Antoine Griezmann helping us in the remontadas against Sevilla and stuff like that. Yeah, that was crazy. Dude.
Yeah, when
Against
Gerard
Granada.
Piqué, yeah, when Griezmann crosses it into to Piqué, Piqué scores and then ignores, just runs past Griezmann to celebrate into the camera. That time, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of worst moments, I'm gonna put up there.
I was
gonna say let Pablo get in here.
I haven't given my 3.
Go ahead.
Get in
Right,
there.
number one was Ferran Torres' Instagram. No, I'm joking.
Ferran Torres, if you're watching,
You have any terms of mind, Pablo?
It was Ferran Torres breaking up with Luis Enrique's daughter was number 1.
no, that's a change. That's a change.
Bulgar, that's what made the man you love.
I know.
Have some respect.
That's like a core memory.
It was, yeah. I'm going to say the Supercopa win against Real Madrid, I think, was really good. Obviously, start of January. That's a good one. I love some of our 1-0s, you know. I love that sort of stuff. Like the 1-0 away to Atleti at the start of the year as well, actually, I really enjoyed. I wouldn't actually say winning La Liga because it was sort of like a foregone conclusion, like for months and months. I'd want to like pick like another one, maybe like the 2-1 against Real Madrid in La Liga. Like I also enjoyed. I think those will be 3 good ones. I mean, this season, I don't know if there was a game where I really left it absolutely buzzing. Maybe the 1-0 against Atleti, I did very happy. But
okay, I dig it.
Go on then, hit us with the 3 worst.
Okay,
then.
the first worst are actually way more sensible than the best ones. Number 3 worst, I'm gonna put Barcelona 3-3 against Inter de Milan in the Champions League at home in the Camp Nou. So that's after the 1-0. That's after the 1-0.
Wait. Was that not in 2022?
You're right. That's in 2022.
Leave it in the past.
Leave it in the past.
Yeah,
okay, you're right. You fucked me over.
That's been chalked off.
Then
Judges have denied that entry.
Then I'm gonna go with Koundé's own goal against Manchester United. I think that one where Barcelona got knocked out of the UEL. No.
I don't know if I'll ever.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Wait, what? Koundé scored. Did he score a goal?
He scored in the first leg. He scored. I'm talking about the second leg. Was Garnacho the second?
He scored an own goal.
Was he Garnacho? No, it was Anthony.
No, he did score an own goal.
Yeah, but in the first leg.
No,
I'm talking about
Garnacho in general, because after that tie of him celebrating the Pedri goal, when
so I'm gonna go
injured in this. Like, what are you? Who are you mocking?
Yeah,
you idiot! Like he's got little brother syndrome, worse than I've ever seen in a grown man.
So I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with Anthony's goal. It was 73rd minute. It was not Koundé's. Koundé's was in the first leg. The last goal in the 2-1 draw at Old Trafford, that knocked me out. Then the second one for me is gonna be really, really sad. It was probably Ansu Fati signing off his legacy at Barcelona. Hopefully, potentially not, fingers crossed, when he went to Brighton. I never thought he was actually gonna leave the club, and he left on loan. I don't know how that story will end. I think that's pretty sad. I hope he returns good and a better player, but it seems injuries follow him to England as well. And the worst moment ever of the year, for me, by a landslide, that I've never, and I still haven't recovered, was Bellingham scoring the double at the Camp Nou.
That sucked, yeah.
That sucked really bad. Like, not only because Bellingham is, for me, probably, I just really like the player, and then he signed for Real Madrid and was like, fuck. And then it was like, he played even good, and he's like, fuck. And then he scored every single goal for La Liga, and I was like, I want to root for him, but no more, I don't want to root for him. And then like I was like, oh my god, maybe I should buy a shirt of Bellingham for Real. No! I cannot do that.
You are tapped, honestly. What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Get him, Pablo. Get him, Pablo.
I think that's my worst moment of the year. You know.
The Bellingham, or me saying that?
I think you guys are overlooking the obvious.
You rocking up to the podcast in January 2024 with a Bellingham Real Madrid shirt on.
That's not gonna happen, bro. Never. I will never wear a Real Madrid
Oh my
shirt.
goodness. Yeah, we all know Buga's a Girona fan anyway, so you guys are overlooking the worst moment of the year, which is Gavi getting injured.
Oh,
good one.
That's a good one.
Obviously,
that hurts.
That's obviously the worst moment of the year.
Nice.
Outside that, I'm gonna say number 2 is the loss to Girona.
That sucks. That
That's
also
huge.
really sucked. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that was that was a bummer. I don't know what my number 3 would be.
Your number 1, like the worst, number 1 or 3's worst?
The worst was Gavi. I'm going backing it down from there. The worst was Gavi.
Wasn't Bellingham?
Second worst was the loss to Girona.
That hurt so much.
Yeah, probably the loss to Madrid this season was probably number 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's up there, isn't it? Yeah. I think maybe also the 4-0 loss to Real Madrid in the semi-finals of the Copa last season as well is up there.
God, this sucks. Boo, we're never doing this again. This is just I'm so sad.
It's once a year, bro. It's okay. We have to filter out those.
We should have ended. We
should have ended on the positive. Yeah.
that's typically what you do with these things, isn't it?
Yeah.
But seeing as we're in a bad spot, it keeps up with the theme of the episode, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the results this season have been really painful. The Clásico defeat to Real Madrid is bad. And Gavi, I'll put that in as well. Go on.
And how much would you rate this year for Barcelona? Like, if you had to, of all your years in Barcelona's, what would you say? It would be like let's do A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's do like school grades.
How about 1 through 10? What is A, B, C, D, E, F? What is?
I was going to say, what?
Just calm down. Just calm down. I'll do a scale of 1 to 10, right? 10 being Barcelona wins the treble, right? That's a 10 season, okay? And 1 is Lionel Messi left and we go trophyless, right? That's a 1. For me this past year, I would put us at a 4.
Oh, what? Oh, really?
Yeah, and here's why I say this. Because I think there is still so much that Barcelona is going to bring to the table. Yeah. I think we're seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of this class coming up from La Masia, and I got high expectations for Pedri, Gavi, Frankie in that midfield, for Araujo, for Balde, for Marc Gui now even. I've got these high expectations for these youngsters that I don't think we've flipped over yet. And I think it will be a big jump, or a quick jump, I should say, going from where we are to, okay, now we're cooking. I think it's a couple of things. You know what I mean? The recipe's almost there. Xavi's tasting it, and it's not quite right. But we don't have to throw it out yet, So I'm still at a 4. I'm not excited by a lot of what I've been seeing with Barcelona over this past year.
Well, I get what you mean. It hasn't been too exciting. I'd actually go for a 7 for me.
Whoa!
Purely
2023.
Yeah, maybe we got just because I think we're a bit guilty sometimes of forgetting the state we're into. Where, in my opinion, we were that close to being a Manchester United or an AC Milan, and I think Xavi quelled that. He calmed the ship. We won the Supercopa, we won La Liga, we started winning titles again, and started becoming a team who can grind out wins, who can win big matches. We've all spoken about the fact that maybe we haven't done that enough, and this season it looks like it's fallen off again. But I think for my appreciation of that and being able to watch us certainly last season become like a competitive team again, I'm going to go for like a 7.
Wow.
Sorry.
Interesting.
So, John, you went with a 4, right?
I went with a 4, yeah. It feels like Pablo and I are almost saying the same things, except like Pablo is, I think, giving bonus credit for having fought back, whereas I'm saying we're not there yet, and so I'm going to reserve that 7. But I think we're saying similar things though. So Buga, where are you at with it?
I'm closer to John, I think, than to Pablo at the moment. For me, I would actually give this like I don't want to be look, I would give it a 4 if this year we continued improving and working what we did last year. But last year, I think because of last year and how we've fallen this year, I think I'm going to give it like a 3. Why do I say that? Because
I didn't think you were going to go lower than me.
Yeah, why do I say it? I say it for different things. First thing first, this has been the most disconnected I've been with Barcelona, and it's not because I've been missing games or anything. I've been watching every single game. But for me, it's just, of course, I enjoy the run of La Liga, trying to win La Liga. But the fact that Real Madrid kind of falls off at the start, for me, the entertainment value kind of dropped a little bit. Of course, if we're talking,
fair enough.
If we talked about how Barcelona played good football, it was good, but it wasn't pushed. It's not like we were pushed to the max by another rival team. The knock on the Champions League last year was massive. Like, I always want to see performing the Champions League and whatnot, and I think that last year cemented. I kid you not. I think for the society of football, Barcelona's already humiliations and in Europe are more than well established. And so far, we haven't done anything to revert that, and that's probably one of the worst things that I hate. Even though I'm not about the best team is the one who wins the UCL, I don't agree with that. But You have to compete.
Yeah.
And I do not agree with when Pablo said we were a competitive team. I think we won La Liga.
Really?
We beat teams, but I don't think we are competitive, because a competitive team is that one who, even when you're losing, you are at least showing that some sort of dignity. You're pushing to the limit. You're playing good. You can lose. I accept you lose. But still, I'm not watching a team that if they lose, I'm okay. We lost, but I'm fine. I can rest easy because we gave it 100%. I don't think that Barcelona has still appeared ever since. Maybe it's like the second, third season, first or second season of Valverde. I think that Barcelona has disappeared since then. At least that Barcelona of like, we can win a game not playing good, or we lose a game playing amazingly and we deserve to win. I don't feel that way. Like even this one against Valencia, where we should win on paper and we should have won on paper.
Not now.
Yeah, I mean, but right now we should have won. Like the team play better than that. It's still like we don't deserve it. Like I don't think we're playing as good. We're not playing as sharp. I think too many injuries. Something's wrong there. Physically, we don't look at it. Mentally, there's still problem to be had, and. Yeah, I'm just not really that excited for what comes next year. I think that's the problem. And what bothers me the most is that I like to see a team kind of having some plan. And right now, I don't see a plan with Barcelona. I used to see a little bit of a plan being built last year when we won La Liga, but I think we went back on that this year. And I said it already like the third time in this spot. I think we went back on it this year. I think we haven't maintained that sort of strategy. I think at the end of the day, signing like want it or not, signing João Felix on the last day of transfer window, that's never for me the sound of a team having a plan.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a very... Yeah.
Hang on. I'm going to back up Pablo just real quick, because I do think, and Pablo, tell me if you're wrong, that what he means by putting together a competitive team is we almost dissolved.
Yeah.
Had to get players who were willing to volunteer their time at Barcelona to come and play. And with that, we still got trophies. You know what I mean? We weren't competing for Champions League, right? But we got trophies, you know? And I think that going from that patchwork team of, hey, putting 11 players on the pitch, even if it means Serginho Dest at right wing and Barca athletic players at left wing and striker, we're getting something together, right? Going from that to, okay, here's our preferred starting 11. Here's us getting out of the group stage.
But that's already
Champions
last year.
League.
That's like 2022. Like 2023.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, in that sense, he put together a competitive team from scratch, right?
Yeah.
But taking that to a planned out, to your point, Buga, planned out team, I think we're seeing a lot of growing pains at Barcelona.
We hadn't won anything in 2022. The question was in 2023, we won 2 titles, didn't it? And I agree. I'm the first to say I think like that was a very comprehensive and good analysis from both of you guys. Quite bleak, quite realistic, but accurate in where we are. And probably people are listening thinking that. And it's kind of true. I was listening a bit thinking like that is all spot on and it's quite scary and I agree with a lot of it. But I wanted to make the point because I think I watch teams like Manchester United and we'll watch them again tomorrow against Liverpool, who they're playing. They're in disarray. Even if they win that game, or they have been for 10 years. And Barcelona were that close to being that team. I'm telling you, the mess we were in, the lineups we were playing. You mentioned it, John. Jude Gla, Abde, Ilias, Dest, Luke De Jong. We were an absolute mess. We were ninth. We were going nowhere.
Shout out. Be respectful.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, I actually thought, well, just a quick note. I actually think if he was in this Barcelona team with how much we cross, he would be on 10 goals.
Oh my God,
he
he would be
anyway.
genius.
He would,
I mean,
but my point is,
friend of the pod. But...
like him and Harry Kane up front. But with like, yeah, what a front three. The point I'm making is I'm more appreciative of 2023 than I would be if it was in the middle of like a 2014-15 year, because I actually watch us win games against Atleti, Real Madrid in the Supercopa final, the Clásicos, the Betis last season, like Real Sociedad, any of those sorts of games, and I'm more appreciative of us Athletic Club winning games, winning La Liga, winning the Supercopa, and I'm like, okay, like well done. We built a good competitive squad. we're actually winning like bigger games now, and I appreciate that.
I agree, but I still.
Puga, don't do it. No, stop. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off because I think we're right at about an hour here. So I'm gonna cut you off. We're gonna end it on Pablo's positivity. I love you, Puga.
He's right.
I'm gonna.
He is.
Huh?
He is right though. He is right. I think you've made all the points, Bulga, and I agree with all of them. And like I said, it was quite a bleak and comprehensive review.
Let me just say this, John, before 2024. Like, I need to say it. For me, let's say last year we won the Supercopa de España and we won La Liga. For me, if this year, let's say, we reach the quarterfinals against, let's say, Manchester City, who end up winning another Champions League, and in the last minute they score like a penalty or some shit like, and we are like playing amazing football, like scrapping to get there, and then we lose La Liga by like 1 point. We end up finishing second, and Real Madrid, let's say, win La Liga by 1 point. For me, that's a better year than last year, because I feel I want to see a team that I can go ahead and be like, okay, I can bet on this team, you know, like even like as simple as my money. I wouldn't bet any money on Barcelona right now. You know what I mean?
No. Here's my prediction. I think I'm with you on the Champions League. If we can have a strong performance and a respectable performance, right? That's what I'm looking for. A respectable performance, get knocked out by one of the favorites. I'm okay with that. I don't think we win La Liga this year, but I do think we get Copa del Rey and Supercopa. I think those are our two pieces of silverware for the year, and I think we take it. I think we take it. We bring in Vitor Roque in January. We get a nice little chunk of change from the Super League. We balance our budget. We see what the summer looks like. We go from there. That's my predictions.
Zubimendi,
he says.
Has to be to balance this team.
First episode of 2024. Let's do like predictions of players we think Barca will sign. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we've done a very long episode to end the year. That makes up for the few weeks that people aren't going to be getting episodes. So there you go.
Okay.
Yes, and we'll have clips out, of course. So make sure you're following us on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. If you're listening on YouTube, check us out on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, hey, check us out on YouTube. You know what I mean? Share it with your friends. Drop a like. All the things. Give us a 5-star rating. One of these times we'll say it at the beginning of the episode, but we trust that you know. You know how to support the pod. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening. Yes, we will be taking a little break. So have a wonderful holiday, however you celebrate. Have a wonderful new year. We'll be back for 2024. That's wild.
I'm going to be 24 years age.
Hey.
I'm going to be old. 24 is the year officially you're no longer a Wonder Kid.
I don't know what you're talking about. As if I'm not even going to say my age. Never mind. I'm not going to say my age.
People in the comments will understand.
You're only as old as you feel, as they say. So, Pablo, any last words?
No, everyone enjoy themselves. You know, let's hope for 3 points against Almeria. Rest up a bit over the festive period for some of us, and obviously, if it's not festive, just enjoy yourself, relax a bit, and then go strong for 2024 with your resolutions and whatnot. Everyone enjoy themselves and
yes, indeed. Perform. Be safe out there.
Perform.
Better from here, everybody. We'll catch y'all next time.
Ciao.